27% of the phones sitting in stores right now, brand new, still on sale, are already in their final year of security updates. Buy one today, and it can be abandoned before your contract even ends. Nobody tells you this at checkout. So I tracked 1,013 phones from every brand that matters and found the exact date each one stops being safe. Today, the entire market gets ranked. The brands that cut you off after 2 years, the brands that guarantee 7, and the one brand that quietly protects you for 8. And stick around, because 2 things in this data genuinely shocked me. The biggest phone brand on earth has the worst safety record in my entire database. And the most trusted brand in tech has never put its promise in writing. Not once. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how many years your brand really gives you, and the day your own phone stops being safe. Quick ground rules, because this ranking is not my opinion. Every brand gets judged on one thing: how long it keeps your phone safe. Security updates, not features. Where a brand publishes a real written policy, I use the policy. Where it publishes nothing, I use its actual track record. And I'll tell you which is which, because one of these giants is running purely on trust. All 1,013 phones are in a public database, rechecked every month. All right, from the brands that abandon you fastest to the one that never lets go, let's rank them all. Down here at the bottom live the 2-year traps. itel, 5 phones in my database, and every single one is already flagged a void. Their $95 P55 security updates ended in October 2025. Gone. ZTE, about 2 years on their budget blades. Lava, around 2 years, with exactly one exception they made for their flagship. Cat, the indestructible phone, survives being run over by a truck, but not its second birthday. TCL, mostly 2 to 3. And then the heartbreaker. Nokia, the brand your family trusted for 20 years, now ships phones with 2, maybe 3 years of patches. Estimates, because there's no published policy to hold them to. Here's what every phone in this tier has in common. They're the cheapest phones on the shelf. And my data says 70% of phones under $300 will be unsafe within 2 years. Cheap at the register, expensive in risk. But hold on, because the scariest numbers in this entire video do not belong to brands you've never bought. Wait until you see what the giants are hiding. First, the mid-table. The middle of the table, 4 to 6 years, and some genuine surprises. Sony, $1,400 cameras, 4 years of security. Their Xperia 1V flagship is already dead. We buried that one last video. Motorola, 4 years on the good phones, less on the cheap ones. Asus, the gaming brand, posts the worst average of any brand with a published policy, 3.8 years. Techno and Infinix, 5 years on their best models, as little as 1 on the budget ones. Sharp and Nubia, 2 to 3, estimates only. Xiaomi and Vivo, 5 years, but read the small print, because that's flagships only. Oppo gets less. Climbing higher, OnePlus, Oppo, and Realme now all write 6 years into their policies. Genuinely solid. And then there's Huawei, the wild card, still shipping patches every single month, but with no years-based promise at all. You're not holding a guarantee. You're holding a hope. Quick heads up, the 7-year club is next, and the twist at the top is not what you think. Because when a brand's promise meets its own database, things start to fall apart. The 7-year club. Nothing. The newcomer puts 7 years of security on the phone 3. In writing. Honor, 7 years on its flagships. Google, 7 years, but only from the Pixel 8 onwards. Pixel 7 owners got 5. And now, the biggest phone brand on planet Earth. Samsung, on paper, the best Android promise in existence. 7 years in writing. But I told you the database would shock you. I tracked 221 Samsung phones. 157 of them, 71%, are already dead or inside their final 18 months. The S21 Ultra, a $1,200 flagship, died this January. Sitting on the same shelf, the S25, protected to 2032. The 7-year promise is real, but it only covers the newest phones. Most Samsungs ever made are already cut off, which brings us to Apple. The most trusted brand in tech has never published an update policy. Not one written year. The only giant running on pure reputation. Now, to be fair, the reputation is earned. iPhones average 7.3 years of support, the best in the business, and one iPhone 6S got 11. But on paper, Apple only owes you 5 years, and only because the UK passed a law forcing them to write that down. So the crown doesn't go to Samsung, Google, or Apple. Your winner is Fairphone, a small Dutch company. 8 full years of security updates, guaranteed, in writing, into 2033. The longest promise in the entire phone industry. So there it is, the whole market on one board. 2-year traps at the bottom. A 7-year club at the top. One 8-year king. But here's the catch that actually matters. A brand's promise is not your phone's date. Samsung promises 7 years on the newest models. The phone in your hand right now might have 6 years left or 6 months. Remember the number from the start. 27% of phones still on sale are already in their final year. You cannot tell by looking at it. So check. I put the exact death date for all 1013 phones on PhoneLifeSpan.tech. Free, no sign up. The link is in the description. Type your model. 2 seconds. You'll see the day your phone stops being safe and whether your next one deserves your money. Do it now while you're thinking about it. And subscribe because next time I'm naming the phones you should never buy in 2026. The ones still sitting on shelves that are already dead inside. See you there.